Today on the Ketoing Viking, I am going to show you how to make homemade vinegar from simple ingredients. So stay tuned. Okay, to a pot of boiling water, we are going to add a couple of teaspoons of honey. And we are going to completely dissolve it. So we just stirred in all of our honey. And now what we're going to do is we are going to add in our berries. Now these could be fresh berries, these could be frozen berries. Over the course of the summer, I decide to throw in some extra ripe berries into the freezer. I accumulate them, and when I get about 2 to 2.5 cups of berries, I decide to make more vinegar. The berries you choose dictate what kind of vinegar you have at the end of the year. And we're going to stir this. Now bring to a boil. And we are going to leave it sit for about 10 minutes at a steady boil. Okay, it's been boiling a steady boil for quite some time now, and most of the berries are popped and or pretty boiled to death. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is we are going to turn off the heat. And we are going to leave this cool. We're going to leave this cool until we can kind of touch it, and it'll be bath water temperature. Okay, we came back and it has been a sufficient amount of time. It has cooled now and it is lukewarm to the touch. Now this is the next step. We are going to take a jar and we're going to stick it into the dishwasher, and right when the dishwasher finishes, we are going to pull it out of the dishwasher. This sanitizes it. You could put it on sanitizing rinse as well. Then we are going to take our mixture and not make a mess, or make a mess, it's up to you. And we are going to put this over here. We are going to slowly pour this fruit and all into the jar. I think you need some persuasion with the fruit. Now, the temperature has to be correct. You're going to fill it up just enough. You're going to take a little bit of active dry yeast or wine yeast, and we are going to dump not an entire amount, but we are going to coat the top just enough, if you can see. Coat the top just like so. That's about it. It's not even 1/4 teaspoon. You don't want too much. I'm going to put a couple more berries on top, like so. But we're not going to fill it completely full because it has enough room to burp. It needs enough, make a mess here. It needs enough room to burp. We're going to stick a towel on it, a napkin, hold it down with a rubber band, whip, up. And we're going to stick it in the corner here for a week. Whoa, get that all solid. Okay, and it's going to rise. You're going to see a mess here. It might even spill over, but that's just normal. Just check it once or twice a day, and we're going to stick it in this corner over here. We're going to stick it in this corner here, and it's going to be out of the sunlight. It's going to be out of the way, and we're going to check it several times a day, every day for 1 week. After a week, we are going to check on it. It's been burping a lot. It's kind of overflowed a little bit, but it looks good. What the yeast have been doing for about a week is they have been turning the sugars into alcohol. And if you smell it, it smells like wine. It smells like alcohol. You can test the alcohol with a hydrometer, and you can tell what the percentage of alcohol content is. It's not necessary though. This should be as alcoholic as your standard wine, about 4 to 5%. So what we're going to do is we're going to transfer it into this mason jar, and this mason jar has been disinfected in the dishwasher. Now if you don't have a dishwasher, you can fill it half full with water, stick it in the microwave for about 3 minutes, let it boil, let it cool enough to the touch where you can drain out the water, and then set it aside to partially dry. We're going to add this to the mason jar, and then we are going to cover it with a clean napkin and stick it in the fridge for a year. We're going to stick it right back in the forgotten zone where all the science experiments are. We're going to stick it back there, and we are going to trust that what happens is the enzymes break down the alcohol and turn it into vinegar. And that is the process that we are creating. So this is my year-old vinegar. It was the exact same process I told you. We went ahead and boiled some honey. We boiled our fruit from the season, whatever it was, whatever we wanted to, mainly berries. And then we went ahead and we bottled it, poured some yeast into it, just a pinch of yeast, let the yeast turn everything into alcohol, and then pour it into a new mason jar, stick it in the fridge in the back for the science experiments to take over, and here we are today. It is turning into vinegar. I need to taste it to see if all of the alcohol is gone, and you can tell. And if you don't want to taste it, then you can go ahead and stick it in the fridge for another 2 to 3 months for the conversion process to mature. Oh look, a spoon. Okay, so we are going to dip, and it should taste like vinegar. Yes. The conversion process has not fully taken place. It needs 2 to 3 more months. But other than that, I'm going to stick the clean napkin, not the dirty napkin, I'm going to stick a clean napkin back over, I'm going to cover it back over, and then I'm going to stick it back into the science experiment area of the fridge. After that, I am going to take another clean bottle, a bottle that is pretty or well designed, but has a screw-on cap. That's the important part. I'm going to disinfect it in the dishwasher or pour boiling water into it, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then pour that out. And then I'm going to let it cool enough, and then I'm going to pour this into there. Now, the bottom has what's called the mother, and it's like this mash, and it used to be mash from the fruit, but now it's called the mother, where the enzymes ate the mash, and now it's kind of like a it's hard to explain, kind of like a Play-Doh, so to speak, or like something out of sci-fi movie. Anyway, you can pour a little bit in there, but leave the rest of the mash in, and then you can repeat the process, and it hastens your process further so that you don't have to start from scratch. It's kind of like a sourdough, what do you call it when you put the sourdough in the next sourdough, and then put the sourdough in the next sourdough? I don't remember what that's called, but that's okay. Anyway, so there you go, vinegar. And it is great on different various things. Go ahead and check out some of my other videos, and I'll catch you next time. I don't don't have anything to drink. Oh well, leak a tip. All right. So it's been about a week, and you can either test it by a hydrometer. You can test this by a, what is it called? Hydrometer.